Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Riva, and I am tasked to discuss Zoom, which I know most of you are already using for your online classes, attending meetings, or attending webinars. Now, given the current circumstance, the demand for online meetings and trainings has increased greatly. The office, for example, in the office, we have seen people. Um, who maybe haven't had to work this way before online, uh, whom are needing a little bit of additional assistance. And this is what this tutorial is for. Now for my topic, I would like to walk you through the technical aspects of Zoom and how we can use these technical aspects of Zoom. Now, for the uninitiated, Zoom is a cloud conferencing app with key features including the HD video chat conferencing. You have the VoIP or the voice over internet protocol for the audio conferencing, also including the instant messaging. For video calls, you have the virtual backgrounds, and then for collaborative work, you have the screen sharing and also the hosting of video webinars. Okay, now how do we get started with Zoom? Now, supposing that we are using a desktop, we're going to open Zoom on our laptops or our computers, not on our mobile devices. Okay, so on the desktop, the first thing that we need to do is to open your preferred web browser, where in my case, I am using Google Chrome. And then we proceed to the website of Zoom, which is zoom.us. And it's going to bring you to this home page. Okay, so from here, uh, you can sign in or sign up. But before we actually log into Zoom, let's get across first um, with the plans and pricing link over here. Okay, the plans and pricing link. As we can see here, there are different plan subscription for Zoom. Of course, we have the free version or the basic version of Zoom, and then you have the Pro, you have the Business, and then you have Zoom United Pro. Okay, for what we're going today, the free version is absolutely fine. However, um, for later use, especially if you are going to be hosting meetings, meetings can go mm, hours, no? So it is advisable that we subscribe to a premium account or a paid account. Now, notice the comparison. If we are going to use the free version as compared to the paid subscriptions, you have uh, only an allowable 40-minute meeting time for the free version. And the participants who can join the meeting is limited only to 100 participants as compared to the other subscriptions wherein you can have from 100 to 500 participants. Okay, and then group meetings can also last for almost 30 hours as compared to the free version, which is only 40 minutes. So if you are going to be hosting meetings or webinars, um, it is advised that you subscribe for a premium or a pro account. Anyways, this 149 is, I think, only it's 7,000 per year, roughly around 7,000 per year subscription. But you can also avail the per month subscription, which is, I think, at the range of 600 to 700 pesos per month. Okay, so moving on. Um, we can again sign up if we do not have yet existing accounts. So signing up would require you to supply basic information like your full name, your email address, your contact information, your location, and so on. Now, if you are able to do that, and then you will get um, the account info, you can now sign in to your account. So from this page, you can now supply your account email address, okay? Or you just click on the link Google account or Facebook account. Then also you have just to provide your Google accounts or your Facebook accounts to sign in to Zoom. Okay, so now how do we start a meeting? For meetings, you can be a participant and you can be a host. No, so for participants, you would only need the meeting ID and then the meeting passcode for you to join a meeting. But if you are the host, uh, you are to create the or schedule the meeting and set some settings for that meeting. Okay, now to be able to do that, okay, suppose you have already logged into your account. Now you will be prompted to this home page of Zoom. Okay, as a host, you have the capability to, or rather, as the owner of the account, you have the capability to schedule a meeting. Okay, now by the way, on the left side of the pane, you will see here um, some options. Most of them are for the settings, okay, for personal and for admin settings. Now, for accounts which is paid or premium, you have other capabilities which is not available in the free account. Okay, so what are these links over here under personal? Of course, you have the profile, you have meetings, you have webinars, recordings, and settings. Okay, so for the profile link, this actually where the account information is displayed. So for this account, it is showing this account info. Okay. Now, this is also where you can set the display photo of your Zoom account. So if you want to change, if you want to upload a display photo, you can do it here. Just click on change here and then upload a picture or a logo or whatever. No? All right. Now next is you have the meetings link. Again, you can be a host or you can be a participant. Now, if you are a participant, you can just go and click on this link over here, join a meeting, and then you just need to supply the meeting ID and then the meeting passcode. But if you would like to create a meeting, be a host of a meeting, then you can click this link over here, the schedule a meeting, or this button right here. Okay, now for scheduling a meeting, we just need to supply some information, like for example, the topic meeting or the topic for the meeting. Let's say this is sample meeting 2 because I have already set a sample meeting and a topic named sample meeting. Okay, you can excuse me. You can add an optional description for the meeting. Okay, set the date of the meeting. Like for example, let's say tomorrow at um, 8 a.m. Okay. Also, you need to set the duration of the meeting. Let's say it's going to run 4 hours. The time zone by default you can set by default it is at 800 hours. So next, there are this checkbox right here. Now, you can tick this checkbox if it is a recurring meeting, okay? Or if it is it is unchecked if it is a new meeting. All right. Now, next you have here the registration. Now, what is this checkbox for? Usually, if you are um, sending out the invitation and for the participants, and then the participant would supply their info. So you can tick this checkbox here for them to be able to register, wherein you have to set the fields that would be required in the registration. Okay, now next we have the meeting ID. We can select between the generate automatically or the personal meeting ID. Okay, either of the two is okay. And then if you have a created template, you can also set it right here. And then you can customize your passcode. You can use the default passcode or you can customize it. You can make a custom passcode, for example, uh, UEPCS sample or sample meet. Okay, now next is we have here still under the security, you have the waiting room. Now, for the waiting room, this is essential if you are using an account with limited participants. Let's say you have already a maximum or you have already exceeded the maximum um, number of participants. The waiting room over here is essential. This is for managing your participants. Let's say you are only allowed to have 100 and then your registration appears to have more than 100 participants. So it is advised that you click or tick this checkbox for you to be able to manage manually the participants whom you would like to admit to the meeting. Okay, now waiting room is enabled. Next would be the default setting of your video and audio. For the host, once you have joined the meeting, it is by default the video would be turned off, and also for the participants, video would also be turned off. Or you can also opt to turn on the video of the host or the participant upon logging or upon joining. Okay, now for the audio, which audio device would you like to be displayed or used by the participant or the host? You can either just click a telephone or a computer audio, or you can either choose both. Okay, next you have the next setting for the meeting options. Now here would be the option to allow the participants to join anytime during the meeting. So we can also tick this. Mute participant upon entry. Yes, check. Okay, why? So for instances when there are late entries or for instances wherein there are participants who join the meeting while it is ongoing. So to avoid disruption, um, it is advised also to mute those participants upon entry. Okay. Also, the automatic recording of meetings. You can also tick this. This is for playback purposes. Now, where will the recording go? Either on a local computer or in the cloud. If you are using a paid account, you have a free 1 gig of storage, cloud storage. Okay, so once you have already satisfied your settings for this meeting, we can now go to save. Okay, so what else? Um, For webinars, what is a webinar? Now, this is an additional function of Zoom, which is only available to those planned subscriptions, Pro, Business, and United Business. All right. Next, you have the recordings. Now, for recordings, as mentioned earlier, that you can record your meetings for later playback. If you want to go back to those previous meetings with recordings, this is where you can access those recordings. Okay, so you can set the duration of the recordings from what date to what date. So this is where you can access your previous recordings. Okay, you can see it all here. Now, settings. Okay, so this would be where your additional settings for the meeting can be seen or can be set. The settings. So next is the settings. So the last one here is the settings. Now these are additional settings for your meetings. Okay, so as we can see here, you have the security, the schedule, the meeting basic, the advanced, the email notification, and others. Okay, so if we would go through these settings over here for security, for example, we have already set this while we were, so we have already set this during the creation of the meeting. Also the waiting room. Next would be also the meeting passcode is also required. Okay, you can either enable or disable this meeting passcode. What this does is you just need to supply the meeting ID and no need for meeting passcode. But that is not advisable, especially if you have a lot of participants. Okay, next, your personal ID passcode or personal meeting ID passcode. We have also to enable this. All of these are related to security. Okay, next, moving on to schedule. Okay, to schedule meeting, are we going to set the host video enabled or disabled? Participants video enabled or disabled, as we have already set earlier. These are turned off upon entry. Okay. Next, the audio type, as we have mentioned also earlier, both for telephone and computer audio. Okay, next we go to the in-meeting basics. Okay, what is under this setting? All right. Chat is enabled, private chat is also enabled, saving of chat is enabled. Now, do we require notification or do we allow the sound notification when someone joins or leaves? Not necessarily. File transfer, yes. So, what types of file? Only specific. Are we going to allow specific files or a maximum file size? So we can also tick this. Feedback, yes. You have, all right, now this one here, the co-hosting. Okay, you can either enable or disable this. Now, what is the use or the role of the co-host? Now, if you are the host and then you are suddenly disconnected due to poor internet connection, so your co-host can now take over, and then once you get back into the meeting, you can reclaim the hosting. Okay, you have also here meeting polls, control bars. All right, next, screen sharing is also important. Now, this is where we can set who from the participants can share, if it is only the host or everybody. Okay, if this is selected, of course, none from the participants can share their documents or screen. Okay, now, but if we click on the all participants, you also have two choices, either the host only or all participants can share while someone else is sharing. So what I do is I only click the host, so to avoid interruptions from during presentations. Okay, now what else? This one is also important, the annotation. Notice, I don't know if you have experience while presenting, somebody else is doodling on the screen. That is because the annotation is turned on. Now, this is useful for the presenter because you can doodle on the screen, highlight some important notes using the annotation. Okay, however, others can also do it. So while presenting, others can doodle on your screen. Okay, next, whiteboard, yes, remote control. And I would like to bring you to, um, yes, this part over here, the virtual background. Okay, these are the default backgrounds which you can use during your presentation. Also, the video filter, this would make you appear smoother on screen if the video filter is on, as well as the immerse view. Um, okay, and then all the way down here. Okay, so this one allow live streaming of meetings. Okay, if this is enabled, your meeting, so the live streaming of meetings. Now, this if this is enabled, you are allowed to stream the meeting either via Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to show you later how it's being done. Okay, now, or you can also share it via other live stream services. Okay, so much for this. No? Okay, you have email notification and others. Okay, so if you are also satisfied with the settings here, we can now go back to our meeting. Okay, and then suppose that we are going to launch it now. Okay, how do we do that? You just click on start. Okay, by the way, if so we can go back now to our meeting, and then from here we can now send our invites. Okay, um, okay, how do we get the link of our meeting? You just click on edit right here. Okay, it is saved. Now we have here the copy invitation. So you just click on this link. I just click the copy invitation link right here, and then
It's
you
5
can
o'clock.
send it to your invited participants via email or the messenger. Okay. So suppose that we would like to start now the meeting. Okay. Um, for this demonstration, I would just like to show you this ongoing um, sample of meeting. Okay, so to start the meeting, supposedly yes, this. So um, suppose that we are now to launch or to start the meeting. So we are just going to click this button right here, the start. But for demonstration, I would like to show you this ongoing seminar, or rather ongoing meeting. So instead of start, I will just click on the join. So that's what happens if you are a participant and you are going to join uh, uh, re- uh, an ongoing. So that's what happens if you are a participant. So that's what you're going to do if you are a participant and you So that's what so that's what you're going to do if you're a participant and you are going to join an ongoing meeting. So again, click on join, and then this page will be prompted, and just click on the open Zoom, and then there you go. Okay, so this page will be prompted, and then you are going to be asked to join with computer audio or test your speaker and microphone. Now, this is essential to test if your speaker and microphone is working properly. Now, if you're going to click here, you are going to be hearing some sound or ringtone. So you just click on yes, then speak a little. Okay, so the computer can recognize an audio, and then click now on join with computer audio. Okay. So this is what's going to be your default screen once you join a meeting. Okay, so from here, what we want to do is to make sure that our microphone is turned off and our video is also turned off. So you can see this signs here, the red slash, meaning your microphone is on mute, as well as your video is stopped. Okay, so you can unmute yourself, or you can either start your video just by clicking on those icons or those buttons. Okay, now we would like also to click on the participants button. So here we can see the participants joining in, if that is an automatically join or automatic join meeting, or you can manage the participants, or you can manage the participants manually. Okay, so as we can see, we have here two participants in the meeting, and me being the host, and I have co-host the other participant. Now, to be able to uh, admit the participants, suppose somebody else is joining, so you will see here the display, but at the moment it does not say there waiting room, because we don't have other participants joining in yet. But if there are other participants who are joining, so you will see here the waiting room, and then you just have to click on the admit one by one, or you admit all. Okay, now what can we do with this pane here? So from here, I can chat a participant, ask them to show or to start their video, and ask them to um, unmute themselves or unmute their microphone. So um, I have the control to message as well the participants, to chat them, and to put them again back into the waiting room, or to remove them from the participants list. Now, if you're going to remove a participant, take note that they will not be able to come back or join the meeting once you kick them out of the meeting. Okay. However, let's say for example they keep on putting their microphones, they keep on unmuting themselves, so nakaka-distract. You can always put them back in the waiting room. Okay. Now next, you have here the chat. Okay, from the chat box, you can message individually participants, or you can message everybody in the meeting. Okay, this is also where you can attach files for your links, for information, especially for evaluation links. This is where you can attach the link or message everyone the link. Okay, and then here you have the screen sharing. Okay, now for screen share, this is how we share our presentation. If you are a speaker, okay, this is where we can share our presentation. So just by clicking on the share button, this would be prompted. You have the basic, advanced, and files. Now under the basic, You can see your desktop, you can see whiteboard, iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, iPhone, iPad via cable. Now, these two here are those applications that are currently open. So you choose which of these you would like to share. Okay, so if you're going to select the desktop, it's the whole desktop that is going to be displayed and shared. Or if you use this one, a recently opened application, that would be displayed as well. All right. Now, take note for sharing. Example, if the presentation is with an audio, please take note to check this checkbox right here at the corner. This would include the computer sound of your presentation if it has an audio. Okay, otherwise, if this is unchecked, you will not be able to share the audio, just the the presentation. Okay. Now, for instances that you would like to share only the audio, and this is during idle times, you want to share only um, sound from your device. So we click on the advanced tab, and then from here we click on the music or computer sound only. All right, so that's how we can share it. Example, your YouTube is open and then you're playing media, but you do not want to display what is shown in YouTube but only the audio. So this is how we can share only the sound. Okay, now if you have already selected which you're going to share, and then just click on the share button. Now, from here, let's say for example you are done with your presentation, and you would like now to uh, stop the sharing, you can just click right here, okay, to stop the share. All right, what's next. Now here is the recording button. For the recording button, again, you are going to record your ongoing meeting for later playback. But this can already be set upon starting. It is going to automatically record. Okay, so I guess that's it. You know, um, uh, those are the basics in conducting meetings as a host and joining meetings as participants. So I hope that you were able to learn something, and the next time you attend or host a meeting, you will feel more confident. Okay, so if you have questions, just type your questions over at the chat box, and we will try to answer your queries later during the open forum. Thank you, and once again, good morning.